Okay, I'm not exactly sure how long I'm going to be able to stay on and talk to these guys. I have a monstrous headache. My blood sugars are doing crazy stuff again, going way too low. So I'm going to have to eat, but I have a pile of these guys on the line, like three or four I've been talking to just a little bit. And two of them, they're definitely scammers. I visited Morocco. This one is talking about Morocco and the mercy of the Lord. And this other one says, hope we can be friends, my dear, in your lovely picture. They've both been buttering me up. Yes, we can be friends. They don't know. It's talking about visiting Morocco. Telling you my last time there was actually sometime before. It makes me laugh when I get these guys on the line and they start, you're going to be able to hear it because my cell phone is charging right now off my computer. And every time one of these guys comments, it's going to ding. I got a pile of them for a change. Oh, come on. And it's been quite the afternoon here, I have to say. Anybody thinking about coming to Costa Rica, let me tell you something. They haven't changed the requirements, but apparently some of the stateside insurance companies, like the one I gave you earlier, Trawick, to get your travels insurance, have gone up in price. So I am been doing an all afternoon search of that because I have to buy insurance again in 2 weeks when I leave and come back. How once a trip there? He's asked me about Morocco. How once a trip there? Flew in, used taxis. I don't know what he's asking, so I'm just going to give him something. If you don't have a clue, just say something. Okay, what's this other guy? Cain Jason. Okay, my pretty dear, can you tell me more about yourself? So I'm not giving him much. I just told him I'm retired. I'm going to make him, hey, Kentucky girl, I'm going to make him work for it. This is really funny because I didn't come online at all yesterday, but just a few minutes because I was really sick to my stomach. And I'm having it again today, but I'm just trying to muscle on through. And between last night and today, these guys are coming out of the woodwork. Yeah, I'm married. You got that right. So, yeah. So I got all these guys. That's what's so funny about the romance scammers. It says married right on my profile. There are lots of pictures of me with my husband. We pick at each other all the time. Hey, Maria. And these idiots still come. They still come and they try to romance me. Kentucky, it's okay. What's happening is I'm having to go down on the drugs I've been taking. I've been taking metformin for like forever. And apparently the dose I'm taking is now too high and it's messing with me. I am living on, what do you call it? I am living on protein pump inhibitors right now because it's messing with me some kind of hard. And it comes and goes in waves. Okay, let's see. What did this guy say? Tell me about your family. What do you want to know about my family? 3 kids, all grown. 1 husband. Let's see what he has to say about that. What cities have you visited Morocco? So long ago, I could not even tell you. Oh. I would love to see more of your pictures. Well, you're seeing them. All I got is up. Let's see. We'll see if somebody asks for a nude picture. I guarantee you somebody does eventually. And when that happens, when somebody wants me to send them a special racy picture, I have a Photoshop that somebody made for me like 20 years ago of my head on a rather rotund white man, totally buck naked. So my head is photoshopped on his body. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Yes, I missed a video chat. I am not video chatting with these assholes. They are really up the creek if they think I'm going to do that. He just tried to video chat with me without even asking my permission. Ha 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 ha. That. Ugh. Nope, 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 nope. You are a wonderful, wonderful person, and I love that. I love your beautiful face. I'm not going to give him anything. It's going to be thank you. I'm not going to say much. I'm going to make these guys work for it before I boot them. And here's the fun thing is I have all their information. I have already gone through their profiles and taken snapshots. I've already sent them in to 419 Eater and the other places that I've scam baited at because I had a feeling these were all scammers. For some reason, over the last 3 days, I've gotten about 10 different scammer requests. And I friended all of them, and they've been coming out of the woodworks. In fact, you kind of laugh because some of them I've not been able to get anywhere near to come on during that. Do you love making friends? Yes, I do. Tell me about yourself. Okay, now let's see what he has. This is Cain Jason. Cain misspelled, Jason misspelled. The other guy is now responding since I did away with his video call. Not the romance scammers. I've yet to ask any of them for money. Now I have scammed small amounts out of the bigger scammers. It's hard to do that, but if you can make them spend money chasing you around or whatever, or make them get a tattoo, that's a popular one. I have never done the tattoo thing. I have done the safari where you make them chase you all around sub-Sahara Africa and then chase you to London and various places. And you tell them that they're going to get the money just as soon as they can. One of the funniest baits, and I'm going to put the link up in the description here, was by a guy who goes by Shiver Me Timbers, I think. I think it was Shiver Me Timbers. Or was it Hey, Would You Blow Me? I don't remember. It was one of those two guys who were two of the funniest at 419 Eater. One of them did this long bait where a guy tried to bait him for money, and he said, I don't have any money to give out, but I can give out this huge art prize of millions of pounds, but you have to submit an artwork. So he made the guy submit an artwork, and then he started messing with it. Let me see what this guy has to say, and I'll give you the rest of the story. I am from Arizona, but I'm in Yemen right now. What are you doing in Yemen? I know. Okay, this guy is claiming to be military. I have to know there's no military in Yemen right now. They pulled him out last year. At least they signed the order to pull everybody out and said they weren't going to give the Saudis any additional help. So if he's claiming he's in Yemen with the military, he's full of it. He's full of it. So anyway, back to the stupid thing. The guy, he asked him for this artwork. So he sent him a picture of himself, and the Nigerian got this huge sculpture made of it. It was a quite beautiful bust, a wooden bust. So he took pictures of the bust and photoshopped in a squirrel emerging from the bust and said, how dare you send me this piece of artwork with an African animal coming out of it? And so he sent that picture back to the Nigerian, and the Nigerian is freaking out and said, oh no, oh no. So he pretended to send it back to him. He sent him a bill of lading from the Klingon the Klingon shipping company to take this thing back. And then he sent him a fake notice from the British Postal Service that said, "You have tried to import a dangerous wild animal. So we're going to fine you X amount of dollars." It was one of the craziest baits I've ever seen. And I've seen some really, really crazy ones. Really crazy ones. Now, this guy who's hitting on me the hardest, I'm about to rock his world. I'm about to tell him that I know there's no U.S. military still in Yemen. When the troops were pulled out, I'm going to be able to tell him that in a second. I'm going to tell him that the place he has listed as his school does not actually exist. He's misspelled military, and I'm going to boot him. I'm going to boot him because this is the military still there? I read they were all pulled out. Let's see what happens here. I had one earlier that I did not go on at all for, who was doing the "my lady, my dear, you beautiful woman," blah, blah, blah to me. And I was busy at the time because I was lining up an interview with someone that wanted to interview me. And I was talking to somebody else about another project that I'm supposed to be involved in. And this guy just kept on, and I was in no mood. Basically, what I told him, I said, because he said, "Am I bothering you?" And I said, "Actually, yes, you are." And said, "Well, why are you acting like this towards me?" And I said, "Well, because when strangers chat me up and they're over familiar and they're romantic like you are, they usually only want one thing. When strangers chat me up, it's one of two things 99% of the time. Either they want a trauma dump, which is fine because I'm familiar with that. I've talked to so many people who've been through these things. They either want a trauma dump on you, which is fine. But if they turn romantic and flirty, it's the other thing. They just want to take your money and bleed you dry with pretty words and string you along. But when I said that, I said, either you're here to trauma dump or you're here to try and fleece me out of my money. He disappeared. He blocked me immediately. Not in Yemen. Interestingly, I've talked to 3 guys who are in Yemen today. 3. Okay. And the guy who keeps trying to video chat just dumped me. So love them and leave them. They are the love them and leave them type today. And this will probably be number 5, 6, 7, 8 I've messed with in one day. Okay. Ibraham, let's go ahead and Ibrahim Gizal was the one of the guys, and the one that kept trying to chat me up. That I just kept on saying, "Oh, hell no." So here's the thing. I think I'm just going to go ahead and block him. I don't need anybody who's going to try and chat me up like that all the time. Yemen is not among. I know they did. They exited last February. The May before that is when all the paperwork was signed to pull them out. It took that long. So it took some months just to even get ready to pull them all out. He's saying now he never said he was in Yemen. It's all over his profile. He's not in. I still can't get over this. I can't get over this. This one guy. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to just go ahead and block you because clearly, if you're trying to call me on the phone, we're going to have issues. because I am not doing that. I am not doing video chat with these guys. And he still won't tell me where he's at. This other guy is claiming to be okay, he's claiming not to be there. He says he's somewhere else. Let me go take a look at his profile and see where he is. Now that we've booted Ibraham, Ibraham, who wanted to have a video chat. And I'm just not down for that. Not down for that. Okay, Cain, let's take a look. Cain Jason claims to have children. Claims he's looking for a new mom for his children. He just told me he's 37. What in the hell would a 37-year-old man be doing looking at a 61-year-old woman? Unless he's a Nigerian scammer, a romance scammer, works at Yemen, works in the U.S., works as USA military army. Lives in Damar, Yemen. Interests, animal training, traveling, blind football, cooking, foosball, drawing. Oh, and he's got some of the most ridiculous, over-the-top, romantical kind of sounding crap on his profile. You know, all those long poems about things, darling, blah, blah, blah. Here's how these guys find me, okay? I'm just going to say this. Because of NLQ, I have a very small amount of internet fame. And it's not just me. Everybody I know who has a website or has any slight notoriety, these guys try to friend you on Facebook. They look for you if you're in a certain age group. If you're in like the 50 or over, or 55 and older, you're circling retirement age, they start looking for you. Why? Because they want to take all your retirement money away from you. They'll promise you this long life, this happy life with a doctor or an engineer, whatever. Usually a professional, but sometimes you'll get military. People claiming to be military, but you're looking at the profile going, ain't no way. So they will tell you how much they love you right away and how beautiful you are and what a connection they feel. And then they will tell you, sweetheart, I have to have $3,000 because they're holding my passport, or blah, blah, blah has happened, you know, all these different. So it's always an emergency. They always ask for thousands, and they always get these women, once they've hooked them and reeled them in with flowery language, they start getting the dough. And once they get the dough, that's it. I see these guys all the time on Dr. Phil, these women in my age group, they go on there and say, we're going to retire together. It's going to be glorious. I said, well, how old are you? I'm 65. And when are you going to retire? Well, I can't retire because I've spent all my money on Ibraham, Cain, whoever, you know, these guys are. Peacekeeping, my life. He misspelled peace. If he was on a peacekeeping mission, he would not be he just asked me, what makes you feel better, you nice, sweet lady? I said, torturing idiots on the internet. That was my answer. I can't understand it either, Kentucky girl. But I guess that's because I am really a suspicious person a lot of the time. I am married to Mr. Never met somebody who he didn't love as a friend right away. And that has created some drama. It created some drama this afternoon when one of his friends told him a whole bunch of crap that was only partially true, and I had to look it up. Sure enough, they did increase the price of insurance, travel insurance for Costa Rica at this one company, Trawick. But I looked up, and other companies are offering it for a reasonable price. So there's no reason to panic. And this somebody that just always drives drama had told my husband it was going to be $1,000 each for our insurance instead of the usual $80. And he told him about an IRS form that we had to fill out. We're not even, it's not even, we don't owe it because we already claimed that on another form. So there's some people that it is a learned skill, Noelle. I was kicked out of the house by my when I was 15. I was married at 16 to someone twice my age who thought he was going to make me into some kind of famous musician. And I was as firmly under his control as say the Duggar girls have been under their father's control. He was not a good guy. And what I got out of that thing was I learned to be suspicious of everything, or at least question it and research everything. And I learned the gift of fear. That my first husband did that to me, and my husband is just so nice, and I'm not like that. I mean, I'm nice. I try to be nice, but if somebody tells me the grass is blue and the sky is green, I'm gonna look. I'm not gonna believe that. Okay. I just told him, okay, here's what I just told this guy because he was getting a little too friendly. Jane, I'm sorry you lost your husband. I am very sorry about that. That would be horrible. That's one of my big fears. That's why I was freaking out the other day behind my husband on his, hey, that Amber chick motorcycle. Well, I just booted this puppy. I've gotten to the point where I used to string them on for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, but I don't have, since I had my stroke 3 years ago, I don't have the nerve for, not nerve, I don't have the patience for that. I just want to smack him around. I just told this guy, after I told him that I like to torture idiots when he asked me what I did for fun, I told him, I said, congratulations, you have just earned yourself a big spot on the Nigerian romance scammers websites because it's pretty obvious what you are and who you are. And I want you to know that I see you. We see you. You are a scammer. So, yeah, that Amber, I totally lost patience for doing this. So now what I do is I will mess with them a while, then I will just boot their asses. As soon as I've taken screen caps of all of their information and to put up on the websites, because these guys, that's the thing, they do take a lot of money off people. There are women out there that are desperate enough for a man that they'll put up with you. They'll believe this stuff. They're that desperate. Now, I don't know. I haven't been, oh, wow, 30 years, Jane. That's a long time. I haven't dated anybody since 1986 when I got married. I was dating my husband. And if he died, I would miss him terribly. But Facebook Messenger and a stranger is not at all how I would start looking for love. That would just not be it at all. They do believe them. And like I said, I have had maybe 6 of them today. I would have to go back and count somewhere between 4 and 6 today. And that one I just booted, he friended me back in February and just got around to hitting on me today. Pugs and pizza, that's smart. I was going to say that is smart. You say, I'm so sorry, Jane. That has to be so bad. I've got my husband getting checkups all the time. I'm so worried. His family is riddled with health issues. That's really important. I'm going to say that. There's times, even in my marriage, that I've had to drag my husband off to get checkups or whatever because he hasn't wanted to do it. We all know that men don't like to do that stuff. I don't like doing it, but guess what? I do it. That's why today I have been using my little thing and sticking my finger and reading my blood sugar levels and trying to adjust down. I'm just on way too high of a dose of metformin for the kind of diet I eat here. We eat almost entirely homemade. We eat a lot of vegetables. Everything is fresh. So I'm not getting all the preservatives and the crap that I was getting in the States here. And I think that has affected my blood sugars. Where I was on a certain dose of metformin at home, I've had to go way down. And since I've had this problem with having mostly numbness on my left side, it has impacted my eating. I never feel hungry anymore. I never know if I have to eat unless I start getting kind of sick to my stomach because the blood sugar. Best to get the checkup of the blood work and go ahead of anything. You are absolutely right. It does make a huge difference. It does. And I just encourage all of you. And if you're widowed or you are divorced or whatever, it's okay to be lonely. It's okay to want male companionship. It's just not okay to let some stranger online take all your money and bamboozle you and tell you you're the most beautiful thing there ever was on the planet. That's ridiculous. Oh, that is right. Pugs and pizzas. Sometimes you get lucky. I'm gonna have a little quick story. My husband had kidney cancer. I think it was, I don't remember if it was 03 or 04, but it was right around that time. It came on suddenly. He had a kidney stone. I had to take him to the ER. They scanned him and said, well, it looks like he's got a third kidney. He's got a mass off of his right kidney. And it was the same roughly shape and size as the kidney itself. Next thing I know, we're going in to see the urologist, the local one that's the best and in our area. And they told us it was cancer. And they took the kidney, they took the cancer. And I said, well, what are the long term of this? And I'd already looked up with the long term. The long term is not super good for kidney cancer, but here we are. You get scanned every couple of years now, and there's no recurrence whatsoever. I know 4 other people that were diagnosed right around the same time as my husband. They're all dead. But we keep looking to make sure he doesn't keel over. Kentucky girl, I can understand that too. As much as I love my husband, there are days when I think it might be nice to just be able to go to the fabric store without being nagged to death about it. Well, I need to do that too. I haven't had one in a few years. I know I've been avoiding it because it's absolutely no fun. And I know I need to get a mammogram. Oh, wow. That is a lot to get her through. You got her through a stroke, then cancer, only to pass through pancreatic cancer. Yes, it goes all over the place. That's the problem with cancer. And we were really worried about that. Really worried about that it would spread. Yeah, he's okay. So anyway, you got to watch me torture them for a little while, and I booted all of them. I blocked a ton of people today as a result of this. These guys just never learn. They just keep on, keep on. But the reason they never learn is because people are giving them money. That's the sad thing. We found out because he had a kidney stone. And that's the only reason we found out. If he hadn't had the kidney stone, we wouldn't have known because there were no other symptoms. He had no signs of cancer. The kidney stone was the thing that alerted us to the fact that he actually had cancer. And he started having more kidney stones. And then we found out he had cancer of the parathyroid gland and had to take those out. So one thing led to another, and you got to really stay on top of those things. I was worried early in the year. I thought maybe I had skin cancer on my breast. Turned out it was another lovely mast cell tumor, a little growth on the side. So it's really good to stay on top of that. If you get a certain age group too, and you start having all these like, oh, here and there, all these little weird spots, yeah, it's better to go every now and then to a dermatologist and have that stuff, have that checked out, have them freeze it off. I had to do that. There are turning around and zapping the crap out of all that stuff back in November. So it's worth it every now and then to do those things. I'm gonna have to have another appointment with them because I've got a couple more popping up. But it's amazing how when you get older, all these weird things happen. I mean, they just do. At least my husband, he's going in within a month to the States and he's going to get the Johnson & Johnson shot. We've already talked to them about it. So I'm very happy he's going to get vaccinated. I don't go anywhere. I'm not going to the States with him that week. I'm going to be here a lot. I'm going to be here entirely. I'm making you crazy. Probably have them checked. I even had this little growth under my chin checked. It's a birthmark I've had since childhood, but I have him look at it just to make sure on the regular basis on that. So he's going to get the Johnson & Johnson. And when I go in the fall, I guess I'll get the Johnson & Johnson. We'll see how it goes. They're giving out shots pretty freely here now. They've got a clinic they've established at the Bull Ring in Villarreal where they're taking anybody who is either a resident or a citizen. So I'm hoping they open it up to everybody soon. So the week that he's gone, I'll probably be online the entire time. I'm going to try to finish up these writing projects I have. I have a bunch of things going on right now. I have a podcast someone wants to do that we're talking about. We've been in talks about. There's a project with reality TV that I've had a couple meetings with, but I'm not sure that's gonna amount to a damn thing. It probably won't. I've got books that I'm working on, pieces I owe other publications, and other things. So I'm hoping they open that up to everybody soon. It's like I said, I had so much stuff going on to keel over and die from COVID, and it is bad here. We're having about 3,000 new cases a day, sometimes more, sometimes less. This is a small place, roughly the size of Wisconsin, with a similar population. I'll put links to it up here. I'll put links when I do those things, and I have to do a website too eventually. I have a little personal blog I've had for years and years and years where I tell my silly stories, like I tell the story about the whorehouse that's right down the street, that used to be right down the street from us. I tell the funny tales of that stuff. Or like the other night, we had yeah, it does and it doesn't. The thing with the reality TV one is they want to do one on people coming out of cult Christianity. They want to do it on recovery. And I'm not sure that reality TV is the best format for that. I've already told them that I don't want anything to do with it if there's anything exploitive of anyone. And it's such a sensitive subject and there's so much to recover from that I'm not sure they're going to be able to do that without being exploitive, because that's just the reality TV. I just don't think that they're going to be able to do that. But what do I know? I don't do reality TV. I just watch one of the silly shows. Noelle, you hear it in my voice. Well, hopefully you hear me laughing, because I think that's the thing that sometimes people don't get when I'm writing something, is that I am actually pretty amused a lot of times. I'm either amused or outraged, but mostly amused. Like the other night, we were in the grocery store and this guy that we know came rushing up to us, and we hadn't seen him in months and months. So my husband was like, "Hi," I'm gonna just name him Jersey. "Hi, Jersey, how you doing? We haven't seen you in forever. How you doing? How's it going? How you getting through the pandemic?" And Jersey turns to him and says, "Anybody who gets the COVID shot will be dead within the year." And then he turns and walks off. And I'm standing there biting my tongue, trying not to bust out laughing. Jim ran into him again today, and it was the exact same thing, except now he said instead of 100% of everybody done a year after COVID from their vaccine, he's now saying it's 97%. So there's always something going here. A lot of people who come to Costa Rica, who move to Costa Rica, are a little left of center or a little right of center. They're just not on center. You got a lot of people who have sort of, how should I best describe this? A little bit of rebel in them, and they're not going to settle for the norm. So there's that. And yeah, I think that if they did that reality show, it's going to be, I don't see how they're going to be able to do it well. I know my friend Cindy had talked to them too. And we've both told them the same things. There's no involvement if there's any type of exploitive anything. Um, those kind of nutballs make me laugh every time, Amber. And I have had weird conversations with this guy before, so I'm not entirely surprised. I seem to remember we had a weird conversation with him a little more than a year ago because it was when COVID first started, and I gave him a ride somewhere, and he hadn't bathed in like smelled like weeks, and he was just going on and on about conspiracy theories. He was thinking COVID was invented in a lab in the US to wipe out the population. And I'm sitting there driving and I'm trying not to smell him because he doesn't bathe. And I'm just trying to be nice. 3 times I saw him in the grocery store and he pretended he was his twin brother. He told me he was his twin brother. I said, "No, Jersey, I know this is you. I know you don't have a twin brother." And after the third time, he said, "You caught me. I'm not my twin brother." Uh, I don't know what he's drinking, Kentucky girl. I tell everybody he seems he's very educated and very well read. If you can get him to speak not nonsense, he's actually brilliant in a weird sort of a way. But he's out there. I think he killed off a lot of the brain cells in the 60s and the 70s because he's got to be at least 75, I think. He does need to be on medication, but I don't think that they're going to force him here because he tried not to do that stuff here. He's harmless. He lives down the street from us, and he's largely harmless. He has a lot of dates with the local, how do I say this, Connie? The local ladies of the night. You see him walking around talking about government conspiracies a lot. And if you talk to him, it's that way. And he's not entirely the only one like that here. I've met a number of Americans that are just out there with the conspiracy theories. I think the funniest of all when I meet Americans here are very conservative Americans who vote for Donald Trump and are just pro gun, pro everything like that, that just freak out when they get here and realize they can't have a gun here, that it's quite expensive. You got to jump through a lot of hoops to get the paperwork to have a gun. Guns aren't a thing here. And number two, they're here as illegal immigrants while they're ranting and screeching about everybody south of the Mexican border being illegal immigrants into the USA. So I just kind of sit back and laugh because it's too funny. It's just too funny. I would not let him near the pool, and I'm not going to let him near the hot tub, even though the hot tub has got enough chemicals in it to kill anything on your body. I think I can't even sit in it. It makes me wheeze. Something about the hot air blowing up towards your face with the bubbles makes my asthma go nuts. I don't really know why. So I can sit in the hot tub if I'm wearing an N95 mask. That is the only way. And it really breaks my heart because I don't have a bathtub here, and I would love to have a bathtub. We just have showers. But I'm getting ready to order from Amazon a Japanese folding portable bathtub. And I think I'm going to put that in there for those times that I absolutely must have a bath. No, so far he hasn't tried to get into our pool, but we have some characters here. We have some real characters. And I just love the fact that they're real characters. I hate to say that. For me, I would take that any day over anybody who's a stuffed shirt that takes himself so incredibly serious. And I don't care where you are on the political spectrum. You could be super liberal, super conservative. Just don't start whining about something that you yourself are doing, or I'm going to laugh and point every time because it's just too funny. So that's what I'm going to talk a lot about in my book on Costa Rica that I just started writing not too long ago, too. I'm going to talk about these kind of crazy things, stuff like I'm going to have a chapter on bugs here. It's going to be called Help, I Have a Bug Bite on My Butt Crack, because that really did happen. And my husband has had bites worse places. And he's like, can you look at this? And I'm like, oh no, I don't want to look at that part of your body like that. Hey, Heidi. So we've had some pretty horrific bug bites between the two of us. I have had very few, but he wasn't raised in the deep South like I was. I was raised in a semi-tropical climate in Louisiana before air conditioning. So I am mostly impervious to the bugs here. A lot of the bugs and the viruses and the crap that people get, it doesn't even bother me. So I'm rarely bothered by bug bites or any of that. But since he's got that nice white flesh, he gets bug bites in the weirdest places. There's no fan. Oh my goodness. Some of the bug bites he's gotten in weird places and been scratching, and I'm going, stop touching that. Stop touching that. You're in public. If you touch yourself there, they're going to arrest you. Oh, a mosquito magnet. I have this wonderful organic stuff that I put on before I go out that just the mosquitoes just stay away. And there are a lot of mosquitoes here. Dengue is a problem. Um, Dengue fever with some people. There's no really even treatment for that. There, you just crush up a bunch of papaya leaves and make tea out of it and wait for it to ease. So, oh wow, Kentucky, you're raised in the South and you're a mosquito magnet. I think I'm pretty impervious to that too. So I have my lotion for that to keep that off. Keep those mosquitoes off me. Not off. Off has got too many chemicals for me. I'd be wheezing like crazy putting that stuff on. So there's that. That's one thing. I have a very fascinating book that I bought last year. It's medicinal plants, and I've had to use that a number of times here. And I'm not completely opposed to plant-based medicine. Most medicines originally started out of plant stuff. Oh, no, 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 well, no, I didn't want to think about that. Oh, I've never had that experience. The worst I've had is the butt crack bite. And that was pretty bad because I'm backing up to my husband going, look at my butt crack. What is that? And that's not something you really want to do. I want to keep those little mysteries so we don't really see the ugly parts. Little teeny, teeny, tiny black bugs that almost look like fleas, and they freaking hurt when they bite. Oh, I know what type you're talking about. I don't know what those are called, but I have had those too. Aloe is great. I have an aloe plant outside. Weed is very good for dealing with anxiety. It's really good for asthma too. When I'm having the worst of the worst, the asthma, medical marijuana has been a lifesaver for me. For some reason, being on the what's that? Lyrica has helped my asthma tremendously. I don't even know why. I guess because I'm relaxed now. I'm very relaxed all the time in my life instead of being the type A worry wart I used to be. My husband's Mr. Friendly, Mr. We're just going to do this way. I'm the planner, the worry wart. I'm the one that worries about these things. I'm suspicious of those things. Yeah, mystery is good. Mystery is very good in those situations. It works for pain. It works for migraines. I think it's a miracle drug myself, even though the FDA apparently does not think that. And that's sad because I think that a lot of people could benefit from it, especially if you have like PTSD, people with traumas that they're struggling with. I think that weed would be a wonderful drug for them. I would like to see the FDA investigate this a whole lot more. Stop pushing crap like Lexapro and the other stuff and do the more natural stuff that actually works. Pugs and pizza, yes. The doctors at Johns Hopkins and the asthma research Asthma and Allergy Research Foundation put me on medical marijuana for that reason, the edibles. And it works wonders. It just takes, you know how your airways get teeny, tiny, tiny? They just expand. I don't know why it is for me, but it could be an issue with young drivers, Noel. And I'm surprised it's fully legal in Arizona. Surprised, but pleased to hear that. They finally legalized it in DC. Medical marijuana is a thing in Virginia, where I'm from, and Maryland. And Maryland was where I was going to get mine. And I would always be freaking out driving home to Virginia because I'd be on the Beltway, driving through DC, where it was not legal at the time. Virginia, where they put you under the courthouse summit, I would have my medical marijuana and my medical marijuana card, and we go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Major anxiety because I had medical marijuana on me. I love aloe too. It's so good. You look into it, Pugs and Pizza. It really did help me. It helped me tremendously. I've heard others say it didn't. I've heard a bunch that said that it didn't. Oh, yeah, that's good, Noel. If it was legal here, I'd grow some. I mean, I'm to that point. It would be nice to have it. But here, it is not legal. They don't even have the medical stuff. So I have to go on the Thursday night market and buy my weed brownies from a nice elderly lady who makes them, and then cut them up into 16ths and only use a little bit. Yes. So it does. Yeah, Kentucky, I don't know. I don't know if they ever will or not. Right, and I understand that too, Heidi. It doesn't help everyone. It doesn't help every asthma sufferer I've talked to, but it does seem to help some of us. And I'd gotten to the point where they were threatening to do some surgeries on me, where I was like, no, I don't think so. They'd talked several times and finally ruled me out, thank goodness, to do the bronchioplasma, where they where they go in and they use wires and microwave waves to burn your airways open. I'm not down for that. Oh wow, you have lupus too? I'm sorry to hear that. Yep, that's what you have to do sometimes. What you can do too is if you live in a state next to a state that has medical, you can get the medical in the other state. And as long as you have the medical marijuana card, even if they stop you and they think you have it, you can appeal it, say, look, I have medical marijuana card from state X that says that I need it, and you won't get hit very hard at all. Bugs, you are so right. I always say that. I've told people before, I would eat a bowl of cat turds if it solved it. That's the point I got to with mine. I mean, I was on a biologic for 8 years. It helped a lot, but it didn't end it. I had it real bad. I seem to have times when I don't have it here and times when I do have it. I'm not looking forward to the month of June because they are, oh, you're across the street from a dispensary. Lucky. Um, I'm not looking forward to June because in June the Sahara dust hits us, and when that happens, I start wheezing again. A THC seltzer, now that would be interesting, Aaron. I've tried just about every kind of product, but I haven't had a drink. I haven't had a seltzer. Anyway, I've been on this stupid thing for 48 minutes, and I dispatched those guys early because they were just getting on my nerves. So I'm going to go have um, an enjoyment. I'm just so happy I didn't have to talk about without a box of Kleenex for a change or any of that. Yeah, if they just did that, I think that it would help with the opioid crisis if they legalized that. So good night, everybody. Y'all have a great evening. Chocolate lozenges. Oh, Aaron, don't tempt me. I'm going to have to when I go back. I'll see you guys later. Love you.